gauge chart, custom gauge chart, and we are going to use both the chart, donut chart and scatter with the straight line chart. We are going to combine together to achieve gauge chart. For example, whenever we give any value, I'm just giving an example, random between 1 to 100, and each time when I change the value, you can see here the needle is getting changed. How to construct this gauge chart? That's the part, that's the discussion we are going to do it today. And in the previous video, in the short version, I basically brief about what these 6 attributes are all about, right? We need a value where we are gonna enter the value, and we need a maximum. Why we need a maximum? Because gauge chart act as an interval data. For interval data, we need a starting point and end point, right? Start and end point, right? Maybe in other word, I will say start, and I will keep the end point as maximum, right? This I will keep it as a static, and this I will keep it as a dynamic. Okay. And then slices is required, right? So these slices, for example, let's say I need 5 slices. So I keep it like each slice has been distributed 10 percentage. Okay. The remaining 50 percentage chunk is semicircle, right? We are going to do no fill and no line, right? And then degree is, so start divided by end times 180, because semicircle mean 180 degree, right? So you have x-axis and y-axis. X-axis and y-axis, you need to start with 0 and 0. And the x-axis we can use, for example, y-axis you can use sine theta, right? So sine, and directly when you invoke a 0, it will not take it, right? So you need to have the radians value. The degrees have to be converted. So this radian formula you have to use, and then invoke that formula. Similarly, cos, because the needle might go anti-clockwise. That's the reason we are invoking minus symbol. Cos is for x, or cosine or cos is for x. That we are going to learn. So let's construct this one. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to remove the donut chart first. Okay. And all I'm left with, so only semicircle, filled one, needle also I will delete. So I have just this one, right? I'm just giving no fill, no line. Okay. So I have just a semicircle and a small circle, and then the value 0, 40, and so on and so forth. This is the value, and this value can be anything. Even if you wanted to keep the distance between 0 to 20, in between 10, you can keep it, right? So I'm just keeping this value here. Okay. So first thing what we have to do is you have to take the donut chart, slice, go to slide, go to insert, and in the insert you have the donut chart, right? In the donut chart, maybe I'll keep it parallelly, and then finally we can combine these two. So you can, in the donut chart, you can click it, so you can remove the everything. I mean, chart title, everything is not required, and you can click the 50 percentage chunk, that is semicircle, right? Green one. You can just select it, okay, and double click on this. You can give no fill, right? No fill. So when you give no fill, what will happen? Now this particular one, semicircle is there, and then again, once again, we are going to give no fill, no line. So this semicircle is ready. Donut chart semicircle is ready. Okay. Once it is done, we need to introduce the other values, right? X, y's and all that, right? And of course the degrees also as well. Degrees in x and y, you get the resulted value, right? So you can just invoke, select the data, add new series. Let's prepare for that. Needle, I'm gonna give a name called needle. Give okay, and give okay. So now these two chart is ready now. So I have to change the chart type. Click here, change chart type, and go to combo. I'm making it combo, and series, I'm gonna keep it donut as a donut. Donut will remain donut, right? And the needle, I'm changing the needle to scatter diagram, right? Scatter with straight lines. Click on this, give okay. And now almost we have done. but we are few things we need to do it now. I'm doing it. I'm just keeping this value, keeping the cursor here, right? And this one again, I can click it, and of course I can give a select the data, because you remember we need to give the X and Y data in the needle, right? So needle, I'm just selecting it. I'm just clicking on edit, and x-axis is particular this one, these two, starting with the 0, and since it is we are talking about this value, so minus 48 it gives. And then y-axis is nothing but this one. Okay, just to keep it simple, what I will do, I will just give the starting point as 50, right? We can, because in order to keep it like a straight perpendicular line, I will just keep it less 50. Okay, now this is crazy, right? So this is not giving like this, it became like diagonal instead of perpendicular, right? All I'm gonna do is that right click on this, and minimum value should be -1, maximum value should be +1, right? Now almost done. This is similarly for this also I can do the same thing, so that we can have proportion, right? -1 and +1. Okay, this is done. And now if I once it is done, we don't need, now we got the proportion both the side. We don't need the values. You can delete, and double click, delete this, double click on this value and delete it. Okay, now we have got this value. So needle is there. Needle, let's say I'm just changing the color. Maybe you can just change the color to black. It will look good. And yeah, okay. So now this is done. All I'm gonna do is that right click on the donut. Just select the donut chart. The angle of first slice, right? The entire, this considered as one slice, right? So you can keep it as 270. Yeah, I'm just keeping like 270, and so 270 I have given. So and then donut explosion should be 0. Don't change this one. And donut hole size, you can, if you want, you can just change this also as well, right? So slightly you can increase. Maybe I can do it 65, slightly bigger. Okay. So now this is almost done. All we are going to do it now is that we are going to keep this particular one over here, right? I'll just keep it here, and I'll adjust the corner so that it can fit here. I'll keep this as a reference and then adjust this corner. Great. Still, yeah. No, still not okay. 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 Now you can see here, for example, let's say still we can do some adjustment. 1 second. Just keeping here. Perfect. Yeah. So now what we can do is that we can give, we can test it. For example, 100 and 100, it should be, start and end. If you give 100 here, is start. So 100 divided by 100 is 1, right? 1 into 180 is 180 degree. Perfect. It is working. So now I'm just going back to random between data just to test it with the different conditions. One between 1 to 100. So there you go. Perfect. Perfect. Even if I go minus, right, it will come. So every time whenever there is a value change, automatically it gets updated, right? The degrees get updated. From the degrees we have an X and Y values that get updated, right? I hope you find it very, very useful. Please do like, share, subscribe my channel. You have wonderful day ahead.